terrifying. Rachel Zegler just dropped a lawsuit on the Evita producers, accusing them of pinning the show's bankruptcy on her.
If you thought the biggest twist in Evita was the plot, think again. Rachel Zegler's backstage drama could be the real showstopper.
Even the Vegas bookies are betting on this meltdown. Looks like Evita's financial freefall just turned into the hottest gamble in town.
Shattered, not officially, not by a courtroom verdict, but by something far more vicious. Total radio silence from the people paid to defend her. Within an hour, the story detonated across every timeline like dry tinder meeting a blowtorch.
Man, that backstage recording? Total dynamite. I mean, you drop something like that and it's game over for everyone.
Verified blue checks quoted private audio, tabloids stapled the phrase career ending to her name, and Evita ticket sales nosedived faster than you can say refund. Yet the clip itself, still under wraps, legal claws sank in instantly. How does a ghost recording wreck a revival before anyone hears it?
This is absolutely insane. If she didn't end her career with Snow White, this is definitely it.
But first, rewind. Let's step back to the night before the leak, where the air was thick with more than just stage fog. Backstage corridor, tight, cramped, a pressure cooker of raw nerves and brewing ambition. Rachel Zegler had just wrapped another grueling run-through, sweat glistening under the flickering bulbs as the voice coach whispered last-minute tweaks. Flatten here, push there, find the note or lose the line. Someone's phone microphone was open. Was it by accident or a deliberate decision, like a knife slipped into a velvet sleeve? That single blinking red light, small but lethal, caught every word.
Anyways, I've been getting a lot of hate comments lately, which is really hilarious, but they're all from the same girl, and it's actually hilarious. Like, her comments tell me that I'm not fit to play princesses. Then why have I played two? I have another callback for the West Side movie in early June. I'll let you guys know how that goes. And otherwise, I'm just ballin'. I'm just living my best life.
Rachel's voice cuts through the white noise of shifting props and distant music cues. She doesn't hold back. She lashes out at the late lighting changes, demands absolute control over script rewrites, every line, every pause. She calls the choreographer's vision, and this part's still almost surreal. She calls it, quote, community theater fluff. It's harsh, no doubt, but is it the final nail? Maybe not, until she pivots. A beat, a pause, and then she takes aim at the very lifeblood of any show, the audience. Her voice drops low, almost conspiratorial, but laced with contempt. She calls the preview crowds cheap tourists who clap at anything, as if their applause was just the background noise to her personal empire. That was the moment. Insiders swear that's when the record button was pressed deeper, as if the phone itself flinched at the venom. The panic in the hallway ignited like gasoline, because everyone knows. Insults to the craft are one thing. Insults to the paying crowd, that's a line you don't come back from.
This thing was a crime of woke, feminist, commie lunacy. So that leaves us with she, her, hers. Rachel Zegler. Zegler? I'm not sure. The partner in crime and one of the most entitled, toxic...
I'm a narcissist.
man-hating, nasty bitch. The last part, her words. Who single-handedly actually annoyed everyone so bad they skipped this mess. Well played.
By dawn, 6 short hours later, those whispers turned into a data storm. Anonymous Dropbox links raining down into every theater blog inbox like digital hail. 3 files, cold and unvarnished. Not a rumor, not a memo, just raw, tinny hallway acoustics. 1 file refused to open, corrupted, or intentionally jammed shut. No one could tell. 2 others played, each only 30 seconds, but enough. Enough to freeze the blood of anyone listening. A frantic escalation of footsteps. A slammed dressing room door that felt like an exclamation point. Small taste. Massive fallout. Critics wasted no time, pouncing with the ferocity of wolves that smell fresh blood. Diva confirmed, they crowed. A headline gift wrapped in scandal. Defenders, though, pushed back. It's out of context. Who hasn't snapped after a 12-hour rehearsal in an overstuffed, humid theater? They argued the snips were cherry-picked, that even the best crack when the stakes are sky-high.
Rachel's legal team just hit the Evita producers with a bombshell lawsuit, claiming they defamed her and wrecked her career.
But insiders whispered something colder, something that silenced even the most loyal fans. There's a longer cut, they said, and it's nuclear. Timestamp, 18 hours in. The social media tidal wave is impossible to ignore. Hashtags, Don Evita boycott, and near Zeglergate surge. To the top of the trending boards, eclipsing politics, sports, everything. On TikTok, reaction videos flood the feed. Silent faces staring at the snippets, eyes wide, each racketing up 10,000 plays an hour. Meanwhile, Evita's producers go into full war room mode. Their vocabulary turns to battle metaphors. Backstage, coup, theater warfare, containment strategy. They know what's at stake, and they move like chess masters under the stage lights.
Evita's officially filed for bankruptcy, leaving the producers scrambling to explain what went wrong.
The legal team doesn't waste a second. DMCA takedown notices are fired off faster than the algorithm can catch its breath. Every new upload met with another legal hammer. But each strike only feeds the Streisand effect. And here's the rhetorical question hanging in the air. Why swing? A hammer if the nail is already buried so deep it can't be pulled? Brief pause. Heartbeat hook. A silhouette graphic of a waveform appears everywhere online, jagged spikes glowing red against a pitch black background. It's the kind of image that looks innocent until you know what it means. Raw, unfiltered. Sound, snatched from the air by a hidden mic. View counts tick like a Geiger counter under a reactor meltdown. Each new ping a radioactive reminder that the damage is spreading. Does that waveform match Rachel's voice print? Officially, no one confirms. Unofficially, everyone assumes. Fans lean in, analyzing every pixel of the graphic. Amateurs turned forensic experts overnight. Conspiracy threads multiply. Each wave peak looks like a guilty verdict.
A lot of what you see with Zegler is really just a pretty common Gen Z mentality and approach to work. She believes that she should be able to express herself and speak her truth or whatever nonsense, regardless of the consequences to everybody else. In reality, you have a job. You're getting paid to do this job. You signed on the dotted line. You took on the role. And that job comes with certain basic responsibilities. And one of the most basic is the responsibility to control yourself and comport yourself a certain way publicly so that you don't harm the project, thereby harm all the hundreds of other people who are working on it.
48 hours later, the tidal wave backlash turns fiscal. A single sentence in an industry newsletter triggers an economic aftershock. One major corporate sponsor, Blue Spotlight Limited, quietly freezes its promotional budget. A £10,000 fee that kept the marquee lights humming. Suddenly, the neon glow that once screamed "sold out" dims to a flicker. Screenshot of the internal spreadsheet leaks within minutes. The column with the sponsorship line highlighted in neon yellow, like a hazard sign on a construction site, flares across social feeds. Fans rejoice, framing it as justice served. She's paying for what she said. Investors flinch at the word insolvency. Who bails out a sinking show when the lifeboat's already on fire? Here's the question that keeps the crew awake. At night, if a theater house goes dark over a scandal before opening night, who pays the wages of the stagehands, the ushers, the front of house staff who believed in the dream? Rhetorical, sure, but to the people in those seats, it's a question with rent and bills attached. Percussion paragraph, silence. Then, like a crack in a dam, whistle blowing. An intern, green, terrified, drops a pseudonymous post on a message. Board known for exposing theater secrets. Producer blackmailed into hiring her. The words land like a bomb. Critics roar with self-righteous glee. See, told you. This show was doomed from the start. Defenders rush in. This is nothing but a straw man, a smear campaign by trolls.
The Rachel Zegler effect has begun. According to scooper Daniel RPK, Rachel Zegler has been recast in Paddington 3 due to strikes, but I have a sneaking suspicion the strikes are only a cop-out for the fact that she has had so much negative press. She is certainly one of the key reasons why the Snow White movie is absolutely doomed. She's probably one of the key reasons why the next Hunger Games movie is gonna totally flop. And now the folks that are making the third Paddington movie are probably just using the strikes as an excuse to make sure that she's recast. Because I think if they outwardly said, well, we recast her because she just ruins everything she touches, that might not be a good look from the studio.
But the insider whisper hits harder, colder. The intern misread the thread, they say. But buried in that email thread sits a single, blood-chilling line. Better secure Rachel before the press finds out about Clause 13. Clause 13. Even the name sounds sinister. No one outside boardrooms knows what it means. Yet by sunset, Clause 13 racks up 50 million views and counting. Fans and haters alike run wild with theories. Hidden payouts, hush contracts, a secret recording. That could change everything. Do you smell a cover-up? Or is it just the grease paint sweating under the hot lights of theater warfare? Clock marker. 72 hours in, the legal battlefield ignites. Rachel's lawyers serve up a cease and desist delivered with the precision of a scalpel. Audio is fabricated, legal remedies forthcoming. That's the headline. But read, one line deeper. Same letter, second paragraph. Distribution of this clip has caused quantifiable harm. Pause. Think about that. How does a fake audio clip cause real harm? Rhetorical, of course, but the logical loop tightens like a noose around the revival's neck.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
Right. Every time that a celebrity gets like one DM that says KYS, they're like, I'm getting death threats. Someone save me, but not a prince. Don't
anybody but a prince.
Don't you dare save me.
Well, she like when somebody, if she's like, I'm getting these death threats, and the cops were like, well, save yourself. Like,
yeah, you're a girl
I saw
boss,
that.
aren't you?
I saw that interview. Save yourself. You'll be fine.
Critics' grim smile. Proof she's cornered, they say. Defenders exhale relief. Finally, she's fighting back. They sigh. But the insiders, those shadow players who never leave the wings, whisper a different story. That letter was slipped deliberately. A calculated smokescreen for a settlement already. On the table. Pressure cooker. And it's only getting hotter. Not a rumor, not a settlement, just a wire transfer. A transaction so cold, so clinical, it slices through speculation like a scalpel on stage velvet. The amount redacted on the document, but the origin unmasked. Novo Bank Madrid branch, a name that sends a shiver down every PR. Manager's spine. Destination, a sleek Manhattan boutique firm known for crisis PR. The kind that handles hush money, high-profile divorces, and celebrity meltdown mop-ups. Stick around. Bank transfer pops on screen at minute 5 exactly. $137,000 US, spelled out in cursive so neat it looks like a wedding invitation. Big enough to drown headlines for a week, small enough to keep payroll afloat. Is that hush money or simply the cost of a few midnight consultants paid to sweep the wreckage under the rug while the audience waits for the next show to begin? Another's. Heartbeat hook? Animated headline meter swings into the red. Reputational risk? Critical. Letters blurring and glowing like an EKG line flatlining in real time. Rewind again. Who actually pressed record? Stagehand? Understudy? A passing producer's assistant who didn't sign the right NDA? Conventional wisdom points to the usual suspects. Disgruntled employees, jealous cast members. But one clue cracks the narrative. Open like a spotlight hitting the wrong mark. The understudy's Instagram shows her at a family dinner during the meltdown. Laughter, candles, wine glass lifted in a celebratory toast. An alibi so perfect. So suspiciously convenient, it feels scripted. Is that a bulletproof alibi? Or a craftily posted distraction dropped like a decoy grenade? Fans swarm the Instagram stories, running frame-by-frame analysis like TikTok detectives on a CSI marathon, looking for reflections in windows, mirrors, even wine glasses. Theater warfare meets digital forensics, and suddenly a blurry background becomes a battlefield. Could the leak stem from inside Rachel's own camp? Would anyone sabotage themselves for sympathy? An act of reputational martyrdom in a war where every headline is a weapon? Triple beat? First beat? Outrage. Fans wailing. For justice, retweeting in all caps. Fire her. Second beat? Legal threats. Lawyers with sharpened teeth and six-figure retainers drop statements like bombs. We will pursue all remedies. Third beat? Nothing. Social feeds go blank for 6 hours. Just emptiness. A digital blackout where rumor mills stall. People panic harder when they lose the signal than when the sirens wail. Clever move by a crisis manager, or just an accidental server crash that conveniently buys Rachel's team time to regroup? Clock marker, 96 hours. The walls of Broadway's glossy facade crack. A well-connected gossip columnist prints the phrase, "undisclosed meeting at union headquarters," in a piece so thinly veiled it's practically see-through. That single line triggers a social media quake. Stagehands Union tweets a cryptic eye emoji, no caption, no context, like a dagger in a back alley. Boardroom lights burn past midnight. Every executive from the box office to the janitor's closet wants a seat at the table. Are producers preparing a graceful exit or fortifying for siege? Either way, Rachel's name is etched across every Playbill blog, every morning show panel, every late-night monologue punchline. Like a neon sign that won't shut off, her face, half smile, half scowl, haunts every screen. Every headline starts with Rachel Zegler. Every conversation ends with a question mark. Is this a meltdown or a masterclass in damage control? A tragedy or a comeback waiting in the wings? Fact. Ticket resales plummet below face value in under 48 minutes after the column drops. Demand, once feverish enough to sell out entire weekends in hours, now evaporates like spilled wine under stage lights. Scalpers dump seats on discount. Sites theaters hide the panic behind carefully worded tweets. Availability opening up? great news for fans. Emotion. Loyal fans describe the mood as tidal grief, like watching a cherished revival drown before the overture even starts. War room term, box office triage, when the show's prognosis goes from bad to terminal, and every day feels like playing musical chairs with bankruptcy lawyers. Quick sanity check. If you're here for unfiltered backstage intel, tap subscribe, so tomorrow's Scorch Tape finds you first. Short, sweet, done. Like a dressing room mirror cracking under too many stage lights. Escalation. 1 week in, the pressure cooker bursts, steam searing every corner of the theater's once pristine halls. A second, longer audio surfaces, allegedly 11 minutes. Critics declare apocalypse, devouring every second like vultures at a feast. They call it the death knell of Evita, the final nail in the coffin that Rachel built herself. Defenders claim deepfake, AI trickery, digital manipulation, because surely no human voice could sound that cold. Insiders, eyes darting left and right, hint the voice print's been authenticated. Legal teams hover like stage managers at a meltdown rehearsal. Producer's lawyer issues a midnight statement, an email marked urgent, a subject line that looks like it's sweating ink. 3 sentences, no greeting, no sign-off. The last line hits like a drumbeat. We acknowledge the material exists. Acknowledge. Material exists. Not a denial, just a cold rainfall on the blaze. A warning that the next act is about to get a lot messier. Percussion paragraph. Boom. Bye. Week's end, Blue Spotlight Limited officially pulls out. Their logo, a shining star over a stylized cityscape, vanishes from every poster, every lobby placard, every social media header, like it was never there. Theater doors stay open, thanks to an emergency cash infusion from a hedge fund that specializes in distressed cultural properties. Critics call it a sellout, their tweets dripping with irony. Congrats on the vulture money. Defenders call it a savior, proof that art finds a way even in the darkest hour. Insiders murmur one word under their breath: vultures. Because what else do you call a rescue mission that leaves bite marks? Rhetorical follow-up. Can art survive when the investors care more about quarterly yield than the standing ovation? When the only applause they crave is the one in their shareholder meetings? Clock marker. 10 days. Evita's rehearsal schedule reduces to alternate nights. Cast morale swings like a pendulum, some days defiant, other days like a funeral march. Some call in sick, others film TikToks of empty seats, solemn faces, cryptic captions. We were here. We tried. Rachel's social media enters ghost mode. No posts, no likes, no paparazzi shots at her favorite cafe. Shattered or strategizing. Is silence a final act or the calm before the storm? Fact. 2 additional sponsors freeze funds. Their logos, once splashed across playbills and promo posters, disappear like paper props under a sudden blackout. Emotion. Fan pages spiral from outrage to pity. Hashtags that once dripped with venom now carry candle emojis and prayers for forgiveness. Triple beat with twist. They begged for her apology, waited for her explanation, and received a cryptic Bible verse posted by an unverified alt account. No statement, no context, no apology, just a single verse that left more questions than answers. Heartbeat hook at the 12-minute mark. Grainy CCTV still leaks. Rachel silhouetted in a backstage corridor, finger jabbed like a dagger, mouth wide mid-rant. No audio, just the freeze frame, the digital equivalent of a flaming torch. Theater warfare now has a rallying banner, a symbol that even 1,000 cease and desist letters can't erase. 14 days in, critics declare the show a pressure vest of liabilities. Defenders launch Numb Leather Sing, arguing that brilliant talent often arrives wrapped in rough edges. Insiders leak board minutes stating contingency plan, postpone opening 2 weeks, /marketing, rewrite contract to reduce fines if show closes. Early, cover-up or damage limitation, rhetorical cadence. Would postponement satisfy outraged crowds or inflame them? Could ticket holders forgive if they received a front-row comp later? Or is the stage now poisoned beyond cure? Percussion paragraph. Silence again. 17 days. Midnight. Fans notice Evita's official YouTube channel quietly sets its promo trailer to private. Within minutes, re-uploads flourish. DMCA hammers fall, view counts double. Why kill your own hype reel unless the actress inside is radioactive? Clock marker.
I am just thoroughly convinced that Rachel Zegler is the unluckiest lucky person that has ever existed. Like, we just need to take a look through of her entire career and like you'll understand once you see. Okay, so first, imagine you have the voice of an angel. Like, she has one of the best singing voices that I've ever heard. At 16, she starts auditioning for the part of Maria in West Side Story. But mind you, this isn't any West Side Story remake. This is a Spielberg West Side Story remake. And at 17, you get the part, right? Your first ever acting job is playing the lead in a Spielberg movie. Insane. But then your co-star has all of these allegations come out, so they ramp down all of the PR for this movie. Then your co-star for one of your next movies is also a terrible person. Okay, maybe third time's a charm. You get cast to play the Snow White. But never mind, your co-star is a Zionist. Literally pray for her.
3 weeks. Industry newsletter floats whisper that Rachel negotiated a mystery settlement. Amount undisclosed, conditions rumored brutal. No public statement, no red carpet appearances, indefinite leave of absence. Critics raise eyebrows. Hush money for silence. Defenders parse labor law. Everyone deserves severance. Insiders whisper. Producers securing rights to the tapes in exchange for a final paycheck. Not a rumor, not a paycheck. Just a single FedEx envelope delivered to Rachel's agent. Signature required. Courier drops a photo. Address label reads, settlement. Documents, confidential. Image circulates in 2 minutes flat. Settlement goes from rumor to photographic fact faster than you can say non-disclosure. Fact. Evita replaces Rachel in playbill cast list with standby's name. Emotion, half rejoice, half mourn. War room term, controlled demolition. Another. Percussion beat, curtain. Down. 31 days after the leak, theater management releases a tidy statement. Artistic differences necessitated a creative realignment. Fans laugh, critics snarl, defenders nod diplomatically. Rhetorical chain, creative realignment, or reputational quarantine, controlled exit or forced exile. Is her career truly shattered, or only in an intermission before a grand rebrand? Final. Spike. Fresh leak scheduled for dawn tomorrow. Long-form audio allegedly proving a much broader conspiracy. Forged clauses, doctored rehearsal footage, hushbank transfers bigger than anyone guessed. Could that tape nuke the entire revival? Or vindicate Rachel once and for all? If you want front row seats when the curtain finally lifts, subscribe now and stay in the loop. Because in Broadway's theater warfare, tonight's villain can become tomorrow's comeback queen, and the next recording might flip every script you thought you knew.